Alright, so let's see how this deck will perform in the action. So unfortunately, for me, no sign of the basic Pokemon in my opening hand, which means I need to refresh my hand and grab a fresh hand. Still nothing. Alright, so that's 2 in a row, which means my opponent will have a pretty decent advantage, that's for sure. Alright, so far, I have a good opening start if you're gonna ask me, just because there is one copy of Remrite also with the Wimpod in the front. Tapu Koko with a Flying Flip is on the other side, just in case if you're not familiar with this card. It's a Flying Flip card with a double course energy, so this attack will does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. You don't apply weakness and resistance for the benched Pokemons, but for example with the with card from the Roaring Skies, I always forget the name of that card, you can actually also apply the weakness for the benched Pokemons. Alright, let's see what our opponent can do here. Ultra Ball for Lysander and N means that he probably wants to grab Tapu Lele for the Bridget and expand his bench on the turn 1 as fast as possible, as expected. I'm thinking about playing my Tapu Lele and grabbing myself also Bridget, so I can set up properly on my bench. But the problem is definitely that Zorua, and especially Zoroark. I mean, Mind Jack can hit for a lot of damage counters. Where on the other side, I'm gonna be very limited in this matchup. I can strike for like 80, maybe 100 with Kukui, so I can go for like 100. I can go for even more damage counters with my Eevolutions. I'm not running a single choice band, just to be clear here. Not a single choice band, just the Float Stones and XP shares. I tried somehow to build this deck so I can basically take maybe 2 hit knockouts, or maybe just trade 1 prize for 2 prize cards. So that's the reason why I actually decided to put those XP shares in the deck, because they can actually be very good and very useful. Alright, so far I don't see a single energy card from my opponent in play. Oh, there we go. So first Darkness energy to be attached down to his Zorua. I can probably expect also Drampa in this build. Maybe not. So he might just want to limit his GX and EX Pokemons if he run any of them on the bench. Because I can probably one-hit knock them out. So there we go, another Zorua, which is the good one, with the 20 damage counters, and I kind of like that. Sycamore is a top deck. Well, I'm gonna set up definitely, and this setup should be for Bridget. I have artillery available, so this looks pretty good for now. With my Bridget, yeah, Zoroark actually have weakness. Zoroark actually have weakness on the fighting. I don't have fighting Pokemon available, but really doesn't matter. I can attach somewhere my double course energy, and I'm passing my turn for now. Next turn I can have Ultra Ball for artillery, plus I can also have my Golisopod evolved on the bench. And I might even manage to hit for like 80 his active Tapu Koko. Not gonna be enough for the knockout, but still, 80 is 80. I mean, it's very important for me to be able to set up properly and to set up fast as possible, of course. So Let's see the next move for my opponent. He have plenty of different supporter cards available in his discard pile, so he have Lysander and a Sycamore, pretty much everything you really want to have. Also, there is one copy of Zoroark in his discard pile, meaning that with the Rescue Stretcher, he can easily grab himself. Oh, that's interesting. Double Course Energy attachment, and he decided to attach Double Course Energy down to his Tapu Lele. I'm kind of confused to see that move, but for me it will work just perfectly fine. I'm hoping for the maybe even Escape Rope as a top deck, or maybe a Floatstone so I can switch my active input, maybe even Golisopod if I evolve into my Bansheed one, so I can apply some pressure to my opponent. So far in this matchup, I'm looking forward to put my Jolteon in play, mainly because with the Jolteon I can also have for retreat, but most important thing is, oh, this is the Lysander, and this is going to be one retreat down to Tapu Lele and knockout with his Tapu Lele against my Wimpod with energy card, so that's pretty sweet. Alright, I really need to respond back. I wish I didn't have double course energy, but I did. So I need somehow to respond to my opponent. Alright, so let's go with the Ultra Ball for that Octillery. But before I decide to Abyssal Hand for 5, I just need to put my Forest of Giant Plants in play. Then I can draw resources. There we go. Even V-Seeker will work just fine for me. Oh, really? Yeah, this is like a nightmare, to be honest. I didn't expect to see something like this, but actually it happens. At least I can play Hex Maniac and pass my turn. I didn't draw a single energy card, which is kind of bad, but I'm still in the game. I'm probably gonna take right now 4 damage counters down to my Tapu Lele. Yeah, I wish there was a double course energy so I can apply like 8 damage counters to his Lele, so probably next turn he would be knocked out. But on the other side, he wouldn't stand a chance to get one hit knocked against my Lele without a choice band and Zoroark, maybe for like 160. But yeah, I mean, it is how it is. I decided to better keep my Forest of Giant Plant in play. I really don't know why I decide to do that. I think I should actually keep my Sycamore so I can have it for like a 7. But still, if he wants to promote his Zoroark in the front, he needs to pay that double course energy to retreat because I played my Hex Maniac. My opponent had 1 prize advantage, which is also very bad. From my point of view, there's another choice band, but that choice band should be scrapped on my next turn, and he decided to retreat. Who knows, he might be even able to take a knockout here. Yeah, there's a double course energy, so there we go. That's the knockout against my Tapu Lele with that Mind Jack. Ooh, this hurts me a lot, to be honest. Alright, the more prize he take, the less cards he will have available once I manage to end him. Let's see what we can find with that Abyssal Hand for 4 this time. Hopefully 1 energy and end. Or maybe nothing. Yeah, this is very painful right now. I do have Revitalizer, but that Revitalizer pretty much won't do too much at this moment. Yeah, I'm breaking right now. I don't have a single energy card, not the V-Seeker, pretty much nothing. And without resources, you can't do too much, unfortunately. You really can't do too much without the resources, but still hoping for the best. The good thing is that Zoroark right now can strike for like 100, minus 30, this is going to be only 70. So he definitely needs 2 hit knockout against my Golisopod. The same thing will apply for me, but at least there's a tiny chance that I can always maybe pull a 1 hit knockout with the help of Professor Kukui. What I'm gonna do next turn is I'm just gonna play Revitalizer and the Floatstone and hope for the best with my Abyssal Hand. There is another Tapu Lele for my opponent. He have plenty of EX and GX Pokemons in play, but unfortunately I'm just completely useless against them at this moment. I don't have a single energy on the field. I wish I even had a chance to pull maybe energy this turn. Oh, so he decided to go for the Hex Maniac. Well, yeah, this is pretty cool. Hex Maniac, no Abyssal Hand, so he can try to double hit knock on my Golisopod. Of course, next turn I'm looking forward just to retreat down to my Jolteon. Pass my turn back to my opponent, that's all I can do. After that move, he's going down to 2 prize cards. I mean, the game is still open. The game is still open. I mean, it's still a long way to go. So I took 100 because of the Hex Maniac, and the top deck for me is Golisopod. Alright. Let's retreat to another one and let's play Sycamore just because we can. Actually, Lysander just because we can, and pass the turn back to my opponent. I decided to get rid of the Lysander just because greater chance to pull something with a Abyssal Hand next turn. Of course, if there is no sign of the maybe possibly V-Seeker for another Hex Maniac on my opponent's side. Yeah, so far still desperately hoping for the best in this matchup. I mean, V-Seeker will still work perfectly for me, as well as the N as a top deck. I have so many different supporters available in my discard pile, and I still can't get nothing. I mean, even Ultra Ball is a good one here. I mean, Ultra Ball for Vaporeon and Flareon will allow me to take Pokemon from my deck, for example, Tapu Lele, and set up another supporter card. Well, there is a V-Seeker, and probably that V-Seeker is going to be for the Hex Maniac. But the question is, will my opponent make a mistake here? Oh no, it's for the Lysander, so he definitely wants to get rid of my Golisopod from play. And he can do that easily. He can pick between... Oh, he decided to go for the Octillery. Yes, of course. Even worst nightmare for me is losing that Octillery with a Abyssal Hand, of course, in the front. Alright, so will I finally top deck something that can be useful? Energy card. Still it's not useful, but hey, I mean, he can't one-hit knock on my Jolteon yet. He needs 20 damage counters for the knockout against him. Let's see. Because next turn, V-Seeker for example, and I can take a risk using the V-Seeker for a Kukui and getting something like a double course energy. Well, that move would be enough for the knockout against his Zoroark with a full HP, but I don't need to play my V-Seeker for Kukui because he already have 2 damage counters, which means I can just easily pull Sycamore and grab 7 cards and one-hit knock out his Zoroark with a double course energy. But of course I still need to get that. I'm not sure why he needs so long time to calculate his next move. I mean, if you have another V-Seeker available, just go ahead, grab that V-Seeker and play the Lysander for my damaged Golisopod on the bench. This is pretty much all you really need to do. But the problem for my opponent is that I can still recover from this game. And I can do that pretty much on an easy way if I can top deck N. So 1 N, putting my opponent down to 1 card, getting that double course energy will open the door for the knockout against his Zoroark. And after that, I can just one-hit knock out any of his Pokemons, for example, Shaman and 2 Tapu Leles, for easy victory in this game. So everything is still open here. Mind Jack for the knockout, 40 damage counters only this turn. I'm putting my Golisopod in the front, even I knew I shouldn't do that. Oh, just another Grass Energy. Well, okay. Passing my turn. I mean, Mind Jack can barely go for like a 10. And still, I shouldn't do that. I should just promote my Jolteon in the front and stay with him in the active position. Alright. Alright, let's see. What is the next step for my opponent? Will he maybe decide to retreat down to his... Oh no, another Darkness Energy attached to Zoroark, and there we go with one special charge which will help him to recycle one double Core's energy. And then he decided to go with the Sycamore for 7. Yeah, I wish I have Sycamore, I wish I have N. I'm still hoping for that N as a top deck, to be honest, and I can't wait to pull that N and end my opponent down to 1 card so I can recover from this game. There we go with the Floatstone, so he can definitely try maybe even to preserve his Zoroark by retreating down to his maybe Zoroark and trying to confuse my Golisopod. This is probably something that I would like to do, and he actually decided to do that, so there we go. XP Share is a top deck. Yeah, somebody tells me that this is not true. I mean, I still can't pull a supporter card. I'm playing like 15 minutes and I can't get a VS Seeker, I can't get a Lysander, I can't get Sycamore, I can't get nothing. It's not that I don't have like 7 Drought supporters, Professor Kukui as the 8 Drought supporters, 4 Ultra Balls, 2 Tapu Lelas. Plenty of good cards, but I simply can't find that card that I can actually use. Right now, probably I'm just gonna see maybe even Sky Return play for no damage counters, but still. He can try to Sky Return. The good thing is that I have Escape Rope in my deck, so I can easily avoid that special condition, which my Golisopod is affected. And there we go with the VS Seeker, so that VS Seeker might be for Sycamore. And for the 7 cards, oh, it's for Professor Kukui, so he can actually have 2 damage counters if he decided to go with his Shaman. And that was the last VS Seeker, which means he already played... Ooh, if I can top deck N, I think I will have pretty much easy victory against my opponent. I'm like 100% positive in that. So 3 damage counters gonna be placed, or actually no, only 2, so he decided to Sky Return his Shaman before I managed to take a knockout against him. Alright, so I'm still waiting for that N. Or I'm just a very unlucky person. A choice band, of course, get rid of from many cards as you can. Especially if you don't need them or if you can't play them. Just another Golisopod as a top deck. Somebody should tell me what is going on here. I mean, I'm just completely speechless. This is not true. I'm just looking my opponent, how he have also hard time to winning this game, because none of his Pokemons actually have enough power to just, you know, end the game here. Where on the other side, I simply have a hard time finding anything that can help me to drop some cards, to drop some resources. Even Ultra Ball will work just fine for me. I mean, I'm not gonna complain with that Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball, top deck for Tapu Lele for N, ending my opponent down to 1 card, top decking with N for 6, something like any kind of the energy card, but of course I'm looking for the regular grass energy because that Lele on the bench is very fat right now with 3 energies, and there we go with the Drampa. Yeah, Lele can hit for a lot of damage counters right now, so he might be a problem here. I still don't want to concede, just to show how unlucky you can be, or how lucky you might be if you manage to broke your opponent with just a single N. So there's a tons of possibilities. Still, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 minus 30, that's like a 70. I have 9 damage counters. Double Course Energy is my top deck, which means only one thing. If I flip heads in the coin flip, I'm back in the game. There we go, so that's the heads on the coin flip, but still, he needs just a single double Course Energy. Let's see, a Floatstone and Eevee. Still no sign of the supporter card. 3 double cores energies wasted for my opponent. Oh, looks like he have double cores energy, or he will just go with the Sycamore for 7 so he can find that double cores energy and maybe end the game with his Tapu Lele. He have double cores energy, so unfortunately I was so unlucky for the whole game and I was not able to get that drop supporter, so that's unfortunately GG.